Hello and welcome to Hidden Secrets of Teignmouth Part 2. And where are we starting off? Just off Teignmouth Road, straight down here. So what do we have here? In some parts of the country it may be referred to as a ginnel, or it might just be a back passage. Oh, where does that door go? Somebody's garden. But here in Teignmouth this is known locally as Lovers Lane. Ah, bless them. Now lots of places have got lovers lanes for obvious reasons. I don't think we need to go into the history of why they're called that, do we really? But as far as I'm aware, this is the only one in Teignmouth. It's a lovely little passageway that runs between Teignmouth Road, just by about number 85A, just by the bus stop, and then comes out in Cliff Road, and then goes across and continues off down the hill. And it's a lovely little passageway with some beautiful old garden gates in it, like this one here. Isn't that lovely? And you never see anybody down here. It's one of Teignmouth's little hidden secrets. Of course, when I say hidden secrets of Teignmouth, there will always be people who know about them, people who live around here, or people who happen to come this way for whatever reason. But equally, there'll be other people who maybe live on the other side of Teignmouth who think, oh, never knew that was there. Or maybe, of course, visitors visiting the area who rarely get to see beyond the seafront and the back beach and the town centre. So I just thought this would be a little bit interesting for you, maybe. Thank you so much to everybody that watched and commented Hidden Secrets of Teignmouth Part 1. Over 1,000 views for that as I speak, which is quite amazing, so thank you so much. And thank you for the suggestions as well. And we're going to get through one or two of those on this episode. So we'll see where we end up. This is lovely, isn't it? Yeah, you can see why this is Lover's Lane. Love all these little gateways. And this should bring us out on Cliff Road. But first of all, I think we're just going to pass by the very top end of Woodlands Avenue. There's the big new house on Cliff Road. Very nice indeed. That's called Overlook. Beautiful place. Yeah, and here's the little passageway through to the top of Woodlands Avenue. And they do have a stunning view from here. And on a clear day you can see all the way down the East Devon coast from here. Absolutely beautiful. And here we are just at the end of Lovers Lane. If you carry on down the left hand side, it takes you down to 2 or 3 properties. There's Green Gables and Far Horizons down there. And then that way takes you past most of the houses and back onto Teignmouth Road. And then of course here you've got Little Stile, which carries on across this little field here, and it will bring you out on the path that runs from Cliff Road down to the seafront, past the end of First Drive and Second Drive, and eventually down to Mules Park. Absolutely lovely here, isn't it? Should we do it? Yeah, go on, let's do it. Everywhere's looking very golden after a very warm and dry summer so far, of course. And I think this that we're on is actually officially part of the Southwest Coast Path. Very peaceful here, and of course there's another path beyond that hedge to the right, which runs past the end of the houses and down towards Mules Park. Another stile just at the bottom here. And onwards the path goes. Just look at the lovely view down here. And I'm so pleased they've never built on this bit. It's lovely, isn't it? There's those nice apartments. That's what's it called, East Cliff House, just on the right hand side. Very nice apartments. Lovely views across Barbican Bay there, and across to the Ness as well. And here we are back on the main path down from Cliff Road to Mules Park and the seafront. That's the way most people will know, but we're going to head back up this way. And a little gateway just by the side of Carlton Mews, and that of course, as you probably know, is Second Drive. Comes out back on the Dawlish Road. I've always thought this is a very attractive house here on the left, and almost at the top of the track and almost back onto Cliff Road. And there we are at the top of the track. So if you carry on all the way down there, it brings you to Mules Park. You can see that on the first Hidden Secrets of Teignmouth video, and also on our circular walk, Holcombe and the Seafront, and Mules Park video as well. And here we are back on Cliff Road, and this will take us through to the main Dawlish Road. And just across the road there is the lovely Holcombe Gatehouse on the corner of Oak Hill Cross Road. Now, I'm not entirely sure of the history, but I think back in the day, before they built the coast road to Dawlish, Oak Hill Cross Road was the way to go in the days of horses. Of course, if you follow that up, it'll bring you up to the back end of Holcombe and then eventually onto Dawlish itself. And I'm guessing that as this was a gatehouse, there was a toll charged for people passing that way. And as you can see from this sign, we're back in town, and we're just on the corner, as you can see, of George Street and Brunswick Street. That's what it looked like during the bombing in the Second World War. Before the war, Agra Engineering was situated in this area. The owner, William Parkhouse, formed the flying club at Haldon. Now, that is strange he should mention that, because that is going to be another one of our destinations in this Hidden Secrets of Teignmouth series. Watch this space. Right, so we've just come down the road, just down the side of the Methodist Church here in Somerset Place, and here we are at the Ice Factory Studio Theatre. Now, this is an intriguing little building. It's currently the home of the Teignmouth Players, local amateur dramatic society. It seats 50 in there apparently. 50,
all air-conned, studio style.
Yeah, must try and find time to get to go and see a show there sometime. I'm sure they do some wonderful productions. And this started off life back in the 1880s, I believe, as a horse repository, which is where they used to do what?
They used to trade horses, so all the local people would come and meet and trade horses.
Right, okay. And then after that it became an ice production place.
It did, because of the fishing industry that was growing here with Newfoundland.
So producing ice and supplying them to the fishing trawlers in Teignmouth docks, who were bringing in the fish.
Yeah.
There you go. So there you go, Ice Factory Studio Theatre.
I can see a little leaflet of what's on.
Ooh, let's go and find out, shall we? And this is the first of two places to do with the formerly more active Teignmouth fishing scene that we're going to be visiting on this little visit today. There you go, that's another one of their productions that they're going to be doing very soon.
September, variety of villains. Oh.
Right, so on the first edition of Hidden Secrets of Teignmouth, we went down Stanley Street, which is the street adjacent to this. It's about the same width as this. And here we are in Sun Street, which is another one of the narrow passageways with colourful cottages that runs between Quay Street and Teen Street. And we're coming down here for a reason, because we have a recommendation from our viewer Alison, and thank you for Alison for this. Look how colourful these cottages are. Alright, so this little gate here takes us through to what they call the Smokehouse. Now, thank you Alison for the suggestion to come and have a look at this. This is in Sun Lane, and looking at the name of the house, I would assume that the Smokehouse was formerly part of the fishing industry here in Teignmouth, where they would bring the fish and smoke them. If I'm wrong there, please do let me know in the notes. But thank you, Alison, very much for the suggestion.
It's a Grade 2 listed building, this is.
It is.
Yeah.
And I was looking up some information on it before we came out, and it's currently up for sale for, I think, $385,000 if you fancy it. Very, very nice inside as well. Right, we've come out of town. Where have I brought you now? Well, this is a little spot that I've always thought is quite idyllic, and yet it's probably well known to so many people who live in this area. Where are we? Well, this is a place where loads of people pass through every day. I come here occasionally as part of my day job, just very rarely. And where are we? Well, you'll recognise this lane, and we are in Headway Cross. So down there it takes you down towards Coomvale Road in that direction. And I would call this almost Teignmouth's secret crossroads. It's lovely, isn't it? On the left hand side, that's Mill Lane. It takes you down to all the houses there and on the Kingsway side of things. On the right is Shepherd's Lane, but in front of us, this is Coombe Way. Look how idyllic that is. It's a bit of a scary drive sometimes, especially if you meet a tractor or another car, but you're looking down into beautiful, quintessential Devon countryside. It's a little bit hazy today because it's a hot day, and in the distance you can just see the cottages on the edge of Bishop Stainton. That would be the cottages on Coombe Way in Bishop Stainton, I'm guessing, just over there. Absolutely lovely. Yeah, you can drive it down there, but it is very narrow, and if you meet something else, you've got to be very good at reversing. So here we are. I just thought we'd stop off here on the way. This is Teignmouth's secret little crossroads. It's lovely. And this road here is Shepherd's Lane. There's just one house on this lane. If you carry on along here, it brings you up by the golf club. Lovely views from here. Again, narrow, so you've got to be good at reversing. But we're just on the edge of Teignmouth town here, and you'd feel like you were right in the middle of the Devon countryside. So, we came along Shepherd's Lane. We've emerged unscathed, miraculously, and here we are up on Haldon Moor, and you may recognise this location from a previous video on this channel. Welcome to what was Haldon Aerodrome. Now this here was Devon's very first commercial airport. Back in the day before the Second World War, commercial flights used to operate in and out of here, and it all stopped, of course, after the war, which was a bit of a shame, and since then it's been overgrown. I believe now this is all part of the Ashcombe estate, so one viewer told me a while back. And if you'd like to see more on this, we did a video especially devoted to Devon's first airport, Haldon Aerodrome. You can find that further down on this channel. And just in the distance over there to the left, you can see the hills of Haytor, Saddletor, and the rest of Dartmoor. And also back in the day, they used to have air displays here with aircraft, balloons, all sorts of different flying objects, and thousands of people would come from Teignmouth, Torquay, Exeter, and even further afield to watch the displays that were held up here back in the day. Must have been quite something, mustn't it? And of course, you're just literally across the road from the wonderful Teignmouth golf course, looking a bit golden after this long, hot, dry summer. So we've just crossed the roads and we've come onto the National Trust car park. Beautiful countryside here just off the main road, and it brings us to this plaque which we did show you on our other video, and this was placed here by the Teignmouth Museum and Historical Society in 1995 to commemorate the Haldon Aerodrome, recording the foundation in 1928 of one of the first private aerodromes and flying schools by Wing Commander William R. Parkhouse, MBE. Shows you a couple of the different types of planes that would have used this aerodrome, such as the Avro Avian and the Westland Wessex, and a little map of where the aerodrome used to be as well. And of course we devoted a whole video to Devon's first airport, the Haldon Aerodrome, which you can see on this channel. Right, where are we going now? We're leaving the car exactly where it is, and I'm going to go and revisit an old mate. And I'm just wondering, will he be as scary this time? I wonder. I have got company this time though, so I think we'll be okay. Right, so that's one of the back lanes down towards Ashcombe, which you can see in another one of our videos, of course, but we are going this way. And nice to be able to have a view this time, because when I last did this walk, it was it autumn or winter? It was certainly well out of season anyway, and it was very misty and murky, but then in a way that sort of added to the atmosphere. What is this place going to be like in midsummer? We'll find out in a few minutes, and I'll tell you more about the rather strange person who used to live there. Lovely views down into the valley. I can actually see the sea in the distance, but you're probably not picking it up on this because it's a bit hazy today, but it is there, more than I could see last time we were here. So we're on Little Haldon Moor. It's really lovely up here actually, and considering you're literally just on the edge of Teignmouth, I mean literally what, 2 miles from Teignmouth, if that?
If that. Right
alongside Teignmouth Golf Course, and it's so idyllic up here. And I'm sure that a lot of the people who own doggies in the Teignmouth area bring their doggies up here. There's loads of different trails that you can take, really all the way from here right through to the main road, right to the A38. It is the A38.
Yeah.
Or the A38.
A38,
One of them, the main road anyway.
The A380, yes.
So yeah, it really is lovely. What do you think of it?
Lots of heather as well. It's
Lots.
absolutely beautiful. This
Lots of heather, yeah. It really is lovely up here.
Gorgeous.
This reminds me a lot of Cannock Chase in Staffordshire, which is our old stomping ground. That looked a lot like this, except without the sea in the distance. And here we are back at the little T-junction of paths. That way takes you back up to the main road. But this is the way we're going. And we're on our way to see my spooky old mate. Now the last time I came down this track, which was a few months ago, it was a murky day, and of course it was well out of season, and I got hopelessly lost. Watch the video and you'll see what I mean. Of course it's going to be quite different this time because everything is going to be a lot more overgrown, as you can see here already. So you have to watch scratchy legs and all that sort of stuff. So let's see if I can remember where the path was that I eventually found last time. Right, now this is where I went wrong last time. If I remember right, the path bends to the left down here, but there's a very small path that takes us off right down into that little bit of woodland. But of course everything's grown so much in the months since, am I going to be able to see it? That's the thing. Now I remember going down that path and going round that bend, and I was in the wrong way. I came back, I ended up in the middle of a big field and then came back down again, and I think it might be down here. It looks a bit scritchy scratchy, but we'll do it for you. Right, we've just made it down this hill. It's very overgrown and very scratchy.
Very scratchy.
Somebody here is, oh dear, we've got blood, oh
Yeah.
dear, oh dear. I'm not sure having blood on display is the best idea considering where we're going.
No.
Anyway, we're into the woods here and not much further to go. And then I'll tell you who we're meeting. But of course, if you've seen the other video, you'll know the answer to that already. Right, so this track here, as far as I know, but please correct me if I'm wrong, was formerly the way from Exeter to Teignmouth. Of course, way before the days of proper roads. So people would come down here in their horses and the carriages, or even walking, and they would make their way towards Teignmouth, probably to the port to catch a ship. And just below here is a chapel. It's called Lidwell Chapel, and it's famous for being the home of the Mad Monk. And I'll tell you what he used to do in just a second. And it is still reputed to be haunted to this very day. And when I was here last time, it was winter time, it was murky, it was misty, it had one heck of an atmosphere. Right, nearly there. The house in the distance there, just at the bottom of the hill, that is Lidwell Farm. You can only access that via the Dawlish end, and it brings you up the valley. It's a beautiful road actually. And where we're going for the haunted chapel, well, it's somewhere in the trees just to our left hand side down here. We're looking for a little gate. And just through the trees, our first glimpse of the haunted chapel of Lidwell, where the Mad Monk used to live. And he used to kill people, rob them of their money, throw their bodies down the well. I'll tell you the story when we get there. And all set in this wonderful, glorious Devon countryside. Now, the last time I was here, it was an absolute quagmire. Let's see if it's any drier. It's been a very dry summer. So let's see if it's dry this time. So let's open the gate and we'll go and see if the Mad Monk is at home. Right, here we are. Certainly more overgrown than the last time I was here. Let's just squeeze around this bit of tree. Woo! My goodness me. Oh, that was tough going. And here we are. We're back. Anyway, Nina, welcome to Lidwell Chapel.
Yeah. Ooh.
You made it. Home
did.
of the Mad Monk. We have a problem though. Since I was last here, looks like this tree has fallen down and it's fallen across the gate, and it has jammed
Absolutely
the gate.
solid.
So we may not be able to get inside. But anyway, somebody's left their cup there, I see. Let's go and have a look around here and you can just get a little bit of a better view of the building. And there's not much of it to see, to be honest, just the back wall and the old rear gateway of the chapel there. Certainly a lot more overgrown. It doesn't look like anybody's been here since I was last here, and that was probably 8 or 9 months ago. Very, very overgrown. And of course with that tree having fallen across the gate. Anyway, let's have a look around the back. Yeah, you get a better view of the back of the chapel here. This is really all that remains of the structure. And this iron fence that surrounds it was more or less the boundary of the chapel's grounds. But there was a well within the chapel building just in the far left corner there, and I'll tell you the significance of that in a second. Right, so do you want to hear the story of the Mad Monk? I did tell a version of this before, but here's another version. Robert de Middlecote, originally of Gidley in Devon. Excuse me reading my notes. Well, he moved to this chapel around the year 1325-1326 after he was accused of the attempted murder of Agnes, the daughter of a local miller, and 3 charges of robbery. He did deny all charges and claimed that the robberies were carried out for the benefit of the ecclesiastical community. Well, the legend goes that he was once a caring monk who was driven mad by the solitude, but according to historical notes, this was most likely not the case, and he was already in this rather crazy state of mind upon arrival. During the day he kept his facade up, but at night he went out in search of travellers and offered food and shelter for the night. The travellers, exhausted, starving and seeing that it was a monk, gladly took up such an offer and were treated to a hot meal. However, this meal was laced with a narcotic that caused them to become semi-conscious, upon which the monk then killed them with a knife, robbed them of any valuables and dumped their body into the holy well. This part of the legend is apparently true, for it has been confirmed by reports that after the well was inspected it was found to contain many bodies, including several women and children. Well, after several years of this, Robert de Middlecote was to meet his match. A sailor accepted the monk's hospitality, and during his stay, whilst in prayer, he saw the monk preparing to pounce with his knife. He blocked the attack, and in the ensuing fight Robert was pushed down the well. Shocked, the sailor ran down to the nearby farm at Lidwell farm that we've just seen and got the farmer, and both hauled the monk out. Surprisingly, Robert had survived the fall. According to legend, Robert died minutes afterwards within the desperate grasp of his ill-gotten gains. However, according to historical records, Robert de Middlecote was actually executed on the gallows at Exeter in 1329. And finally, and here's the really creepy bit, there's reference to a photographer from Bristol who travelled to these ruins in the 1970s and took some pictures. When one of the photos was developed later on, he was shocked to discover that instead of showing the chapel in ruins, the photo instead showed the chapel intact, as it would have looked around the 14th century. So if you watched the video I did last time I was here, I wasn't quite sure where the well was, and there certainly seems to be evidence of a stream coming down here, or at least starting here in a well, which I think develops into the stream that runs down through the Luscombe Valley and out to the back of Dawlish and eventually into Dawlish water. But on reading some more notes and watching another couple of YouTube videos, it appears that the well was actually in the far left corner, just down here, inside the fence, and that would have been formerly inside the chapel itself. Yeah, so this is the tree that sadly is broken, no doubt in the winter storms or the spring gales, and it's fallen across the fence and blocked the gate. Oh dear, I guess nobody's going to come along and clear that in a hurry. It's really, really wet under there. I've just gone right over my shoes in mud, and still very squidgy even at this time of year in midsummer. And I'm thinking, is that where the well used to be? Because it literally is just a few feet to the left. But it appears that that may actually be the start of that stream that ends up going down the Luscombe Valley. So this is the corner of the old iron fence that was, of course, was put up in much later years, but it does more or less follow where the ancient walls of the chapel would have been. And according to the bits and pieces I've seen, the well would have been right in this corner here. And of course it was filled in. They did actually excavate the well, and they did find lots of skeletons down there. That is a true story. And then they filled the well in, and of course now it's all overgrown. So that's where so many bodies would have been, right in this corner here. And come here on a misty day or early evening in twilight, and it is very, very creepy around here. Today it's a sunny warm day in mid-August, not creepy at all, just a bit scratchy. So my second visit to Lidwell Chapel, and it looks like me and the Mad Monk will never meet. Probably a good job really. So there we are. Bye bye Mad Monk, and hello Devon countryside. If anybody's got a chainsaw or the local farmer and they fancy clearing that up and making it accessible again, that would be great. But maybe the spirits that be intend it to be forever, locked away and inaccessible. And that's it. Probably the last time I'll go there. Shame we couldn't get closer, but there you are. And a last view across the valley down to the beautiful Lidwell farm. What a lovely hidden valley that is. Another one of Teignmouth's, or some people would say it's actually in Dawlish parish, which I think it actually is, but another one of our local secrets. Right, so just walked back up the hill to the woodland, having escaped the Mad Monk once again. And somebody who very nearly didn't escape the Mad Monk is Nina, who made a sharpish exit. Tell us all about it.
I did. I had an absolute horrible feeling of foreboding in there. Just past the sign that says Lidwell Chapel, where the railings go round. I got as far as there, and it was like somebody was putting weights on me, and I couldn't wait to come out of it. And I had to come straight out, and I've come up here because I couldn't stay there.
And you promised you didn't have a gin and tonic at lunchtime?
I didn't have a gin and tonic or a rosé.
Blimey.
I'm on the water.
So maybe the Mad Monk has yet got business to do. Right, so we've escaped the Mad Monk and we're back in Teignmouth, and we thought we'd pay a very quick visit to somewhere that I've mentioned to some people, and people say, I never knew there was a cricket pitch in Teignmouth. Where is it? Well, it's here. It's amazing how many people don't know this is here. But yeah, Teignmouth has a cricket ground, and here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Hazeldown Oval. We're just behind Hazeldown School, and then that over there is just the back of Magdalen Drive. It's rather nice, isn't it? And certainly tucked away. Does it qualify as one of the hidden secrets of Teignmouth? Here's your cricket nets where you can practice, very nice facility. And the covers for the wicket. And then beyond, that's the little clubhouse. I think you can even get there for a drink, if my memory serves me correct. So there you go. And with that last wicket, we knock it on the head for edition 2 of Hidden Secrets of Teignmouth. Thank you to everybody that sent in suggestions. Thank you also to the lady that suggested that we go over and see the Babbling Brook at Haldon, which we are going to do. Just didn't have time to do it for this video, but we'll do that probably for the next one. So if anybody else has any suggestions of hidden places in the Teignmouth, Bishop Stainton, Haldon areas that you think are worth sticking on these Hidden Secrets of Teignmouth videos, then let us know. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll hope you'll join us again next time. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.